Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my cumulative review for the first half of The Walking Dead Season 7. And spoiler warning, of course, if you haven't seen The Walking Dead up to date. So I usually do this every half or every year. We kind of, after one, half season or season ends, we take a look back through it and we do a review for that half or for that said season. This half I actually I didn't forget to do it, but thank you guys for reminding me in comments, so as you know who you are, for sending through the video suggestion for me to go ahead and do this, because with all the talk about the person with the boots on and everything, and also just kind of the type of half that it was, I just simply pushed it back, and so finally we're going to get to do it today because you guys requested it. So this one is quite a bit different. Now, I'll try to keep this review mostly positive, but there has been, and we can't ignore the elephant in the room with this half, that there was a lot of people that were pretty disappointed with this half. There's a lot of viewers that were really disappointed with this half. Me personally, I was a little bit disappointed with the half, but not like crazy disappointed. Not like, oh man, it's horrible, it sucks, the show's going to get canceled, something like this. No. Now, we've talked about the ratings most of the half, so we're not going to beat it to death, but there was a big time decline, in terms of first viewership. But again, people said, more DVRing, online viewing, stuff like this has really changed the game a lot in the last few years. So very true. You have Netflix and services like this. That's true too. So you might not have everybody tuning in on the night of release. That said, we did still have one of the biggest premieres ever with The Walking Dead Season 7. The day will come when you won't be. The premiere, so 17 million viewers. This was a high point, I think, for The Walking Dead. If you look in terms of the number of viewers, it's the second highest rated ever. And if you adjust kind of for, like we said before, all the different ways to view things now and DVRing and all that, it might be the biggest ever. So it's like right there with No Sanctuary. It's almost tied pretty much. It's one of the biggest parts of The Walking Dead ever. We had waited all summer to finally see The Walking Dead come back on TV. October 23rd was the date, and they aired The Day Will Come When You Won't Be, a slightly extended episode where they kind of teased us with a little bit. We got to see the right-hand man sneak peek, knowing that Negan had killed somebody, Lucille being all bloody and everything, but we didn't know who it was. So finally, after all that wait in the summer, we found out that it was a double death for those it wasn't spoiled for. It was a pretty intense episode. It was the climax of what started in Season 6, near the end of the first half with meeting Dwight and Always Accountable, and then carrying through with the Saviors in the second half of Season 6. Into this season, it's like the wrapping up of that initial Negan meeting, and us as viewers getting to understand what it's like to live under Negan's thumb and, get broken in by Negan along with Rick and the others. So it's a brutal episode. It's probably one of the best in the entire series for what it does. It really separates The Walking Dead. It's a memorable episode that people will probably never forget, no matter how many seasons it goes on for. Whenever they think of Walking Dead, this is going to be one of the standout points. So after that, there was a big time drop, because in terms of popularity, because you had this amazing episode, you had this just very brutal sequence, a couple of them, and really dark, really crazy, very emotional at the end there. Part of that was some of the saddest stuff I've ever seen in an episode of a TV series, and it was just very traumatizing, to be honest. A traumatizing episode, but stands out as one of the best in the whole series. So the season starts off with one of the best ever, for sure. Then we go from there. We got The Well, The Cell, and then we've got Service. Go-Getters, and Swear. So that takes us to, you go from 2 to 6, and then you've got the the mid-season finale, which is really like episodes 8 and also 7. So if there's any complaints about the season, I think this is where they came from. Episodes 2 through 6, there was a lot of people here that were disappointed with this. Now, and you look at it. Okay, so The Well, we get to meet Ezekiel the Kingdom, Carol and Morgan, get to find out what happened to them. It's an okay episode. It's good compared to most series for The Walking Dead. Sometimes we get slower follow-up episodes to a huge premiere like that, like Strangers in Season 5 after No Sanctuary, for example. So it's not unheard of. But then we had The Cell, which was another episode with Daryl in the cell, which is a good episode, but it doesn't kill it like the premiere did or maybe the mid-season finale did. So this is where I can start to see people being a little bit disappointed. Service, we see Negan come to town. We've got some dark comedy mixed in there, which some people really like. I like dark comedy. I think it's Negan's hilarious, really funny, and some intense intensity there as well. But some people also didn't like that. So you got a few episodes here and there that were, the ratings are dropping. People are not that interested. Go-Getters, I felt like was really good. One of the best out of this stretch. And then we had Swear, which was also good. But again, just very different from what we're used to. So usually in the middle of a season or half season, we get like a couple episodes that are not like, amazing episodes. For example, season 6, you had Here's Not Here, you had Now. So those two were like, you can tell like they're good, but they're not, as, crazy as Thank You or JSS or First Time Again or Always Accountable or Start to Finish. Season 5, No Sanctuary, Strangers, Four Walls and a Roof. So Strangers is kind of slower. Four Walls and a Roof is crazy. Slapdown's slower. Self-Help is slower than Consumed and Crossed. So we always get like a couple mixed in here that are a bit slower that, you get some people that are complaining. With season 7, I feel like we just had more than usual. We had more of those than we usually do. We had like a stretch between 2 to 6 where the middle of the season after this crazy premiere did not really live up to the hype, I guess, or the hype was killed along with Glenn and Abraham, Lucille in the premiere, and then it was kind of like, oh, that's what it is? Okay. Oh, yeah, there's still a half season to watch, right? So it's like when you start a season with a finale, it's weird, and that's what this half has happening. You have the start to a new half season at a finale point, and that's really weird. It puts us in a weird spot for a half season. It's probably not how you would design it if you were to do one half or a full season. It doesn't mesh well by itself. But again, this is just part of a huge story that's going on for many, many years, and they intend to keep going for over 10 years, right? Of course. And longer, we'll see. So there's definitely some lulls there, but they're not bad. The Well is still okay. The Cell is, easy street and stuff. It has some cool stuff in it. Dwight and getting to see the Sanctuary and Negan again. So it's kind of cool. Service has got some really funny jokes in it, and that's another thing about this half that's really different from a lot of the other halves, is that you don't have a lot of comedy throughout The Walking Dead. You don't have a lot of dark humor throughout The Walking Dead. This half has probably more comedy than almost any other part of The Walking Dead we've seen. At least in terms of dark humor from Negan's perspective is pretty funny. So Service has got some really funny stuff in it, and it's got some good stuff in it. Daryl and Rick and everything. It's got some intensity there. Go-Getter's also pretty good. You've got the cool stuff with Maggie and that kind of changing as a character, taking on more of a leadership role, and it feels fluid. It feels like it's natural, which is good, and some stuff at the Hilltop, which is fun. And you also have a little bit of light comedy mixed in there too with Simon. So then we've got that episode 5. Episode 6, Swear. It's good. It's not great. It's not horrible. Some people, Forbes, called it the worst episode of The Walking Dead ever. I don't think it is. I don't think it's the worst ever by itself. It does some stuff for the Oceanside, for the future of the show that's going to be useful later on. So they're building a new story here, and we got to find out what happened to Tara and sort of what happened to Heath, kind of. And maybe a lead-in for the Whispers there. We'll see. So it's okay. Now, I do think that this half had a great start and a great finish. Sing Me a Song and Heart Still Beating are really great episodes. Heart Still Beating is fantastic. It's one of the best from the half. If I had to pick the best episode from this half, I think it's The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. Most memorable ever, right? And then I'd go with the mid-season finale because you get some character deaths, you got all kinds of craziness happening, and a lot of different stories all mixed in together. And then it ends on a high note, which is good. So it's kind of like the group gets broken down at the beginning. They're in a state of kind of dismay and depression, and then they build back up with optimism to the end. So Heart Still Beating is a great episode, absolutely. Sing Me a Song, really, really funny episode. Some stuff in there that's hilarious. Some drama there at the end with Judith and Negan. And it's got some interesting feels, like Negan, he's like bumping Judith off his knee, right, as like a grandpa or something. And then he talks about burying them out front. It's like, or in the flower beds. It's like, this is a weird feel, right? This is a weird feel. So you go from the beginning of the season with one of the highest points ever to the end of the season with the start to a new kind of high, I think. The middle, I think, with this half is where a lot of people had issue with. That said, I still like the half a lot, man. It really adds to The Walking Dead. We're bringing Negan into the show now, so getting to see him, get some time with him, was something that a lot of us comic fans and people that are fans of the series just couldn't wait for. It's definitely different. As Gimple has said, every half season, the show reinvents itself. Every half feels different from a prior half. And he's right that that's necessary, because in a long-running show, you're going to have many seasons, you're going to have many halves, and you need to mix it up. Otherwise, people are going to call it repetitive. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to be like, oh, they just kill zombies all the time. In this half, zombies are not a deal. Like, it's a zombie apocalypse, but they're really not shown. Season 6, first half, it's all about the zombies, right? The huge zombie megahertz, crazy. But this half is totally different. Hardly any zombies in the whole thing, really. They're there, but they're like a background environmental piece, really, to the drama story that's going on at the forefront. So in terms of score, I'm going to give this half an 8.5 out of 10. It's lower than what I usually give for Walking Dead standards, but it is what it is. It does have a slow middle. I can't ignore it. Some people still loved it, in the middle part. I liked a lot of it, I did feel like maybe the well and the cell were a little bit slower than they needed to be, and maybe they could have added some more stuff in there or done some different things there. But still, we got a lot of extended episodes. The beginning was memorable, forever. Probably never forget that as a Walking Dead fan. And the ending was also pretty memorable. One of the better mid-season finales we've had, right up there with, start to finish. Probably better than Coda. I think a lot of people would like this one better than Coda. And maybe not at the level of Too Far Gone, because that's the climax of the Governor's story. So there's my half review, guys. I did like the half. It's a different half. It doesn't feel like any other half we've had before. I can understand if some people are disappointed because of the lack of zombies and kind of the more focus on the dark humor and seeing things from Rick's group's perspective under Negan. But you know what? If you look at the beginning, you look at the end, you'll see that I think, wow, it's got some really memorable parts in it, and you've got some really great stuff from Negan this half, which is completely new. We haven't seen anything like that throughout the series ever. We've never had a villain like Negan in the show before. So for Negan fans, I think this half is a great one. And as always, I enjoy the hell out of it as usual. So looking forward to an awesome second half of The Walking Dead Season 7. Write your comments below, guys. This one's about the half itself. Take a look. I'll put the link to the Wikipedia. You can take a look through the episode list 1 through 8, and you can get an idea of what you think and how you feel about this half versus some others. It's not my favorite half ever. I do have to say that it's not my favorite half ever. That might go to season 6's first half as a half, or maybe the second half. I'd have to think about that, but it's still really good, and it's still Walking Dead. It's still Walking Dead. It's not like total trash or something. Anyway. Write your comments below, guys. Let me know what you felt about the half. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up. Click that thumb up button. And if you're new to the channel, you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe to see new Walking Dead videos almost every day. And other shows too, when we get into them. Z Nation lately, and Game of Thrones in the summer and stuff when it comes back. So lots of fun stuff. Have a happy holiday season, guys. Merry Christmas. And I'll have another video for you guys tomorrow. See you tomorrow. That's it for this one, guys. See you for the next one. It's Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you. You better subscribe.